you expose some special mice that age fast, if you expose them to hypoxia, they can extend their life because their neurons don't degenerate. I am Professor Dr. Gustavo Zubieta-Calleja is my full name. I am from La Paz, Bolivia, a city located in the center of South America, where we live between 3,100 and 4,100 people. This is it's called the capital of hypoxia, our city, and it has around 2.7 million people. About 53 years ago, my father created the High Altitude Pulmonary and Pathology Institute. It's an institute dedicated to treating patients that come from sea level to high altitude and get diseases. Some can be very severe, like high altitude pulmonary edema or high altitude edema. And some it can also be deadly sometimes. But we have managed this through knowledge perfectly well. Nobody has died in 53 years at our institute because we have all the know-how, the resources. So with knowledge, that should not be a deadly disease. And my work is focused on proving to the world that life in that high altitude is extraordinary in many ways, and it can even produce many benefits. When one comes up from sea level to high altitude, the pressure of the environment reduces. In La Paz, for instance, the pressure of the atmosphere is reduced 1/3. What does that mean? That all gases that the oxygen that we breathe is also reduced 1/3. So the organism feels there's a lack of oxygen. That lack of oxygen can be aggressive, as I told you, acute. When you go up very fast and you come to La Paz and you start running uphill and everything, you'll be feeling very short of breath. And that's a mechanism where the organism has to find the mechanisms to try to sustain life by providing enough oxygen to the cells in your body, in all the cells. And so what it does is you increase your respiration, you breathe more, and you increase your pumping rate of the heart. Those are the two pumps that we call, by the way, the pneumodynamic pump. That means it's an air pump that is, our thorax is an air pump produced by lowering the diaphragm and creating it's a negative pressure air pump. And the heart is a positive pressure compression liquid pump. And we call that hemodynamic. Pneumodynamic and hemodynamic. Those two pumps work when you go to high altitude. But that's a lot of work. It's expensive. It's like you're running all the time. So your organism cannot sustain that. So what happens is with time, a curve evolves the increase of hemoglobin. And that is like this. It's a logarithmic curve. Once it reaches the top level of the increase of your red blood cells and hemoglobin, then gradually your two pumps don't have to work that hard. They relax. You don't waste so much energy, and the increase of red cells improves things. So that's an adaptation mechanism. But there's many other adaptation mechanisms in the organism. The statistics we have found thus far, we compared people that live in the lowlands in Bolivia at around 400 meters above sea level, which is the Amazon, tropical lands full of beautiful palm trees like you have here. And they were compared to those living in our cities, in my city, La Paz, at between 3,100 and 4,100 in the mountain. And what we found is that there were 6 cases in the lowlands, and in the highlands there were only 2. Actually, one, because it was two the year before, one this year. And so we have much lower incidence, and it's exactly the same thing that has happened that when COVID arrived to Bolivia. Well, we don't have anything specific because this is the preliminary part, but studies need to be performed and to see particularly the exposure. Some studies have already shown, for instance, in mice, that if you expose some special mice that age fast, if you expose them to hypoxia, they can extend their life because their neurons don't degenerate. That's a fantastic finding, and it follows exactly what we are proposing. So the idea is that in ALS, you see neurons start to die, and so it's like all your cabling system in the body dies. So electricity does not go through, and so that's why all muscles start suffering and atrophy, and it's a terrible disease. So if there's a mechanism that we could probably adapt and check and have people, for instance, that are beginning to have the disease to live at a high altitude area, for instance, that could be protected. This is theoretical, of course, hypothesis.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.